So when I teach pistol training, there's a couple of things that are mandatory, right? So first off, get yourself a nice table, have all the things on it so they're not rolling around. Hearing protection, vital. Anytime you're out working, especially with firearms, have a medical kit. Chest seals in there, there's a tourniquet in there, there's a compression bandage in there. The things you need, and we'll go over that in the future. But you know, the other thing I have here is a couple of note cards. So when I'm explaining something, some people see stuff in drawings better, and I also utilize a pole, and I'll show you what that's for. Now these are going to be our targets. I'm going to show you why when we get up to our target, why I use these little lunch sacks. But just for honest reasons, they're every vital thing in this space, right? It's called a T-box. Everything from kind of chest cavity up to nasal bridge is lights out on any assailant target, right? So anyways, we're going to start over this, and stay tuned. Okay, so this is pretty simple. It's just a little bend in a stick. What you're going to do is you're going to put a dot right in the middle, and that's where someone's going to activate their thumb, right? So the only thing that this does is teaches people to put thumbs forward. It allows them a pointing device, right? So if I'm pointing at you, I'm going to take it and I'm going to try and rotate until I get that pointed like I'm pointing at my target. This is for people that have never really held a pistol, or they're really trying to protect their skill. What it's working on is tightening this action right here, right? Getting that so we can lock in. If you can lock in here, it's going to line everything up so impact doesn't have the recoil bounce on the wrist, right? So all it is a little bend, right? And it's overemphasizing the stretch right here. And we're going to show you the next step of this too. So the other thing is get as much real estate purchase on it as you can. So your supporting hand is also going to come in and grasp your first hand, and both thumbs are going to aim forward, right? And so once they've done this maybe 5, 6, 7, 10 times, right, and they really get that feel, now we're going to incorporate the second hand. Second hand is going to act like a vise, right? It's going to wrap around both thumbs together, right? And your thumbnails are going to point at your target, right? And so this action overemphasizes the stretch, overemphasizes getting your two hands together. That's going to save you from the problem of someone going like this, because with most semiotic firearms, when that action slides back, it's going to crush your thumb. That actually happened to my wife one time. I was not paying attention. She was doing this all day, and then she grabbed her pistol like this, and bam, rack came back and hit her thumb. Yeah, she was not very happy. So really work on both thumbs together. You're going to put as much palm and hand on the actual metal frame as you can. That's going to help any of the action go left, right, up and down, right? That's going to give you the strength and the confidence of holding that firearm. So they'll be going like this, right? Go like this until they get that action of really extending out. All right. The next thing that I teach is I teach people to stand on a line this way and to step across the line when they're ready to fire. So when I come to this, I step across the line, right? So I'm here and I step across the line. That's going to get that action of that body leaning in, right? That's going to get people in a position that's really well balanced. It's also going to get them in a position where they're not leaning back and feeling that fear of it. Remember, a firearm is a confidence thing. It's an equalizer. And so with this, we need to make sure we're stepping into our danger, right? There are times to back up, but there are moments when you have to step in, and this is one of them. So I enjoy shooting with silhouette targets, right? It's going to give you an example of what to hit. I'll show you how I clip this on here in just a sec. All that is just those little butterfly clips, right? They really help just hold stuff real easy. But I'm going to show you why I really like the little lunch sack. I'm going to take this down because when you're shooting and you're just learning, you want to know where this hit. And it's kind of hard sometimes to see in this space here when you're back where you pattern if you're not quite sure you're hitting. But the beauty of this is this covers every major part of that torso or of that headshot. Remember, we're looking at shots that are lights out, right? If I ever have to draw a firearm, I want to make sure that it is done and over, right? I am taking care of the threat, right? So again, this is about the same size in almost every target of that lights out T-box zone. All we're going to do is we're going to set this up here for now, right? We can go through a ton of these. They're really inexpensive. All we gotta do is try not to hit our clip, right? All right, guys, so that's my setup right there. You can see my target. Sorry, here's the table I'm standing in front of. Just so you know, that table to the target is only 30 feet. There's a reason it's only 30 feet. I tend to have people start at about 15, 15 feet, right? The reason for that is most people learning to shoot need to build the confidence of the trigger, right, and not being all over. Second, most people, unless they're in military combat tactical type stuff, will never have a situation where a shot longer than 25-30 feet is warranted, right? So the idea is that this is the space where I would be afraid, right? If there's somebody approaching me, I have this much space to say, stop, 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 I will shoot, I am armed, I will shoot, I will shoot, I will shoot. Bang, right? You take that step back, you gather yourself, you step forward. That's that distance, right? There's a lot of training on this, but this distance is the longest distance in most people's houses, right? This distance is truly the space where I feel like that assailant, right, could threaten me. Otherwise, I'll just leave. It's 50 feet, 100 feet away, right? I can just keep retreating. I can tell you this, man. If you ever have to pull a firearm on somebody, your life is going to be kind of messed up for a while. You're going to be, even if you were totally in the right, it's not going to be comfortable. It's not going to be good. It's going to be expensive. It's going to be difficult. So the idea is, I don't want that, right? But if this space closes and if that threat is imminent, this is the danger zone, right? It's dangerous for that paper bag. All right, guys, so we're going to go over a little bit with the firearm itself, right? So like before, we're talking about getting that thumb pointed down range and really flexing this wrist. Now, we're overemphasizing that on purpose because as we project and push that pistol out in front of us, we're flexing the arm and we're making it so that the angles work well for the impact, right? Whether you're using a shotgun or a hunting rifle or a pistol, you want to make sure that your two thumbs are both pointing at your target. Like if I'm working bird gun, right? If I'm working hunting rifle and I got my eye on a scope, or if I'm working pistol, it's going to be the same thing. Now, we have an unloaded firearm, right? No rounds, nothing in the chamber, right? So with this firearm, the same way would happen. First, you start with a very high grip. Try and get that all the way up into the crotch of your hand, right? Your hand as much as you can on the actual pistol frame itself, and finger off the trigger until you're ready to destroy something, right? The other side, again, your thumb needs to point towards your target. Now the rest of this space here, you want to fill with the palm of your hand, just like we did with that pointing stick. We're going to try and get that in there, and your other thumb also pointing toward your target. I like to simply wrap. I do not teach the teacup. I teach the wrap because this gives me a chance to squeeze from the sides. Does that make sense? Control. We're controlling up and down. We're controlling side to side. That gives us ability to go on target. And then what I want you to do is press that out. Remember we talked about taking that step across the line? Same thing with your firing, right? You want to press that out. Pressing it out does a couple of things, right? Gets that firearm out in front of your body so you can get a good sight picture as you line your eye up with the sights. The second thing it does is it flexes the arms so that the actual impact from that round going off doesn't just bounce the firearm out of your hand. We don't want to limp wrist this thing, right? What we want to do is have control of it. Remember, this hand runs front to back strength. This hand vices from the side. Both thumbnails pointing forward, just like we were running again with a rifle. Now, unloaded firearm, but I'm going to show you what that looks like pointing at the camera, okay? Once again, you're here, and then see how both thumbs are aiming at my targets. That's the same way as if I was doing a hunting rifle or a bird shot gun, right? Your thumbs point at your targets. It's going to give you a good idea that you're going to be shooting the right place down range. It's also going to protect your hands. We talked yesterday about crossing your thumbs and how that can be dangerous. If I'm here and I put my thumb over the top, right, in this firearm, if my thumb's here and this slide comes back, it's going to hit my finger, right? That's why I don't teach that teacup or that over the top look, because that will rake the top of your thumb when this cycles. Remember, when the round goes off, this cycles back, and if my thumb's in the way, it's not going to be an enjoyable experience, right? Both thumbs towards our target, you press out and fire. We're going to do a couple of test rounds. Okay, do it again. Yes? Now the idea, again, high grip, good grip, all the way up against the bottom of the trigger guard. Other hand, all the way up to it. Cover as much real estate as you can. Your hand should fit right in this space, both thumbnails forward. Get a good sight picture, pull the trigger. That's what you guys have to work on when you're out shooting. There's a lot of different methods out there. That's one of the ways that I've been able to learn and teach people that are getting new to shooting, is really grab as much real estate as you can so that there's no free space on that firearm. Remember to get both your thumbnails forward so that you're aiming at that target zone, right? That works no matter what you're doing. Works if you've got the first time you're ever in the shotgun, right? You're ready to go. Works if you're rolling a bolt action rifle and you get that up, you're looking down the scope. If your thumbs are pointing towards your target space, you're pretty well aligned to always shoot straight, right? Like this. Yes, same thing if you're running a pistol. You train your body to do that, you're going to be a better, smarter shooter, and I think it's going to be safer for you as well, because you're not going to get in a situation where you cross those thumbs and that sliding rail ends up injuring your own hand, right? Anyways, guys, like always, if you're out there and you need someone to shoot with, give me a phone call. I can line you up with some professionals. If there's somebody near you at indoor shoot, go and talk to them. They're fantastic people in almost every situation that I've met. These companies are great, even if you're inexperienced. And if you do have experience, but you just want to kind of up your game on that control, biggest thing you could do is go out and get some more trigger time, right? It's really important to get out there and perfect your skill. So thanks again for watching, you guys. Always click subscribe. Make sure you're on the Patreon with us, and make sure you join us and visit us on our www, right? 1stronghome.com. Support our channel. We love providing this content to you. Have a great night. Oh boy, I knew it. You guys were here for the extras. All right, we're going to talk about front sight. All right, let's see if I can. You see that nice little tether ball in the distance there? Yeah, 1985 all over again. All right, so front sight is when you're looking at the front sight of your gun and you're going to focus it on your target. Let me see if I can do this sideways. If I was going to shoot that ball, I'm going to aim the front sight and then I'm going to rock the back sight up. Oop, I'm off of it until you actually get it on target. So you're able to do that. You're right there, front sight at the target, rocking the back sight up. Boom, there you go. See my little light pops in? There you go. You go in here, bang, you're shooting that trigger. What that looks like in actual practice is you're going to present that firearm, the nose is up, it's aiming at your target, and you're going to rock the back into that level plane, right? Bang. 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 That allows the actual forearms, the muscular structural body to be ready for that blow, right? Last thing we're going to talk to you about, squeezing the trigger, not pulling the trigger. I know, little tidbit. Words are important. So, pulling the trigger, you jerk it, and see how I bounced? Your whole body does that when you jerk the trigger. When you squeeze the trigger, you're under control and your hand doesn't move. Squeezing is really consistently pulling back the same pressure till it fires rather than a jerk. See, the whole hand moves when I do that. If you're squeezing, your body is just under better control. You'll get better follow-up rounds and you'll be more consistent in the way you shoot. So go out, practice that often, man. I love this as a sport, and I hope you guys enjoy it too. Remember, always do it safety, and don't forget hearing protection, your eye protection. Be out with somebody you care about and love, and train with them as often as you can. Have a great night, you guys, and we'll talk to you soon.